Hi, everybody. My name's Megan Beaker, and this is Leading with a Moral Compass, Module 7. So, a synthesis of all the articles and videos that I listen to is basically follow the golden rule. All the articles discussed like always using your compass to guide your decision making, and ultimately we're working with people who are human and need guidance, but we also need to establish our non-negotiables. So some things that really stood out to me is that it's easy to get lost without having some kind of moral compass or something to guide our way. So it's really important that we establish that moral compass as leaders and finding our true north. That's something that was talked about a lot in all of the videos and in the articles. An important thing that stood out to me too is treating people as humans, no matter what the situation is. So never treat someone like they're dirt. You would never want to be treated like dirt. You would never want to be treated in a way that is disrespectful and unkind, because we are all human. We are all making mistakes. We do have to own up to those mistakes. So being sure that you do treat people with respect. And then also understanding that our emotions are far from infallible. I believe that was talked about a little bit in Macomb School of Business from 2019. And I think that that is so important because when we're talking about morals, we're dealing a lot with emotions. And even though we may not understand where other people are coming from, we have a tendency to make snap judgments about what a person did or how they reacted in a situation or things like that. So I think that it's important to think before you react and try to find a good balance between logic and an emotional response. Some other things that just really stood out to me was figuring out your right and wrong, and then don't even get close to that dividing line. Lead with your integrity, reflex, and commit to doing what's right. So don't let guilt and shame and embarrassment motivate you to go along with something that you don't agree with. I think that's extremely important when deciding what your moral compass looks like. Always put people first in your decision making and embrace treating others as equals, handling all decisions with respect and care in mind, and to follow the golden rule. Treat everybody fairly, be empathetic and considerate of others, and to consider the needs of others. Also, trusting your gut when something doesn't feel right. That's something that I've developed a lot becoming a leader. There's a lot of things, early on in my leadership and developing my leadership that I'm like, oh, well, there must be a reason why people do it that way or why it's done that way. And now as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize, no, sometimes people do things and they're not right, and my gut is telling me that they're not right, and I need to honor that. So I really liked that part of Macomb School of Business's discussion. And then leaders should expect that decisions made in their personal life will be discovered. However, most don't want to know where north is in case the information would interfere with their lifestyle. I think it's easy for us to try to justify why we did something, kind of try to explain it away, and really that's not what leaders do. They don't explain things away. They really try to own up to the mistake and just resolve to do better in the future. So I really enjoyed all of these articles. I really enjoyed listening to the videos. They were very empowering and inspiring, and it kind of encouraged me to really think about what kind of leader I want to be, but also my current situation and maybe how I need to stop just going along with things. So here is an example of my moral compass. I had integrity at my true north. I think integrity is so important. Making the right decision no matter what, actively choosing to act the same way when everyone's watching, when no one's watching. I think that's extremely important. With integrity comes respect and values and ethics, and just understanding that we all come from different places, different locations. We value different things. We see other things as important, and it's okay if there's a little bit of disagreement in things that we, I guess, think are ethical or not ethical or things like that, because that is kind of part of the human experience in a lot of ways. With integrity comes responsibility. I have a responsibility to my students and my staff to do what I'm going to say, to be honest, to be trustworthy. So just embracing that responsibility, having compassion for those who maybe make a mistake or are having kind of a tough time, and understanding what I can do to support them. Finding a balance between, I guess, my morals and kind of the overall ethics of a situation. Really just finding that balance between thinking logically, acting with emotion. I think that's huge. That's something that I really need to focus on, and I want to focus on, and I think it's an important aspect. And then just being honest in all instances, owning up when I make a mistake, being true to myself. The message about, I believe it was from, it was the second video that I watched, but basically the Native American leader who had this kind of final prayer, final speech about really living your life to the fullest and living it with full compassion and no regrets, so that way when it's your time to leave this earth, you can honestly say, I did everything that I felt was right and moral and just, and I did everything I could do to be the best person that I could possibly be. So I thought that was extremely important, and I loved that message from that video. So here are my references from my synthesis slide. Okay, so standard correlation. This assignment aligns with the standard listed above. Because as future building leaders, we need to know and understand our non-negotiables, the difference between right and wrong, and the aspects of our moral compass before we can expect morality out of others. I think that's really important. I think when we're put in that leadership role, we really need to step up and go, okay, where do I stand? And really have a strong sense of, this is who I am and this is what's important to me, before we can really expect that from others, especially staff and students. The assignment is extremely relevant to my learning, because I need to know where I stand with my moral compass. I think I have a pretty good feeling on where I stand, but I think also I need to think about that more often and honor that, and really look at it in a way of, I need to lead with my true north. Always. I think I do a good job of doing that, but it just being more intentional about that thought. And then reflection. After reflecting on this assignment, I've decided that this moral compass is going to be kind of a roadmap for me in my current and future decisions that I have to make. I've decided that I'm no longer going to just go along with things that I don't agree with in order to keep the peace and conform, especially in my workplace. If the values of my workplace don't align with my moral compass, then it's time for a change. So it's really made me think much deeper about my expectations, what I want to see, and how I want to change the environment around me. So thank you very much for listening in, and have a good day.